Welcome to Getting Our Reward Heads Together, the podcast for reward and HR leaders brought to you by Reward Heads. Each episode we explore the ideas, challenges and innovations shaping how organisations design, deliver and talk about reward. We're a boutique consultancy creating bespoke solutions for our clients, but we'll tell you more about that after the episode. For now, let's get started. Hello and welcome to the latest in our series of podcasts entitled Getting Our Reward Heads Together. I'm Victoria Milford, the CEO of Reward Heads.
And I'm Jannine Smith, Senior Consulting Manager at Reward Heads. And today we're taking a look back at the year that was 2025 from a reward perspective here in the UK. And what a year it's been for both pay and policy and people strategy.
Oh, absolutely. The reward landscape has really shifted again this year. From economic pressures to changing employee expectations, it feels like we've been in constant motion.
Yeah, it does. Let's start with one of the big ones for many of our clients and indeed the reward communities, the national living wage. Yet again, we saw a big increase of 6.7% in April 2025, didn't we? That is a real impact or a hit on payroll budgets right across the board.
It is. And it wasn't just the national living wage, was it? The national minimum wage increases for those under 21 were even higher to catch up and close that gap. Plus, the living wage foundations rates went up quite significantly too. And I think the message from governments and others is clear that these rises are here to stay. And we've seen that in the 2026 rates. They're already announced. And with that, we're seeing more pay compression challenges, aren't we?
Yeah, so we're hearing that from more and more from the people we speak to. The gaps between the lower and middle earners just keep narrowing, which creates all sorts of challenges and problems with internal equity conversations and paying fairly.
Yeah, I think it comes up in just about every forum that we host as well. And so while fixed pays continue to rise post-COVID, driven by inflation and those low rent adjustments we were just talking about, I think the days of the 2% annual increase are long gone. We're more in the 3% territory for this year, but with disparities by levels, with lower earners seeing much larger increases.
Yes, and then if that wasn't enough, along came the employer national insurance hike. So not too bad when it says up from 13.5 to 15%, but that was a double impact with a much lower threshold. This really added up to a lot of unplanned financial strain. So I guess unlike the national living wage changes, which we were kind of expecting, and the national insurance hike wasn't really on our roadmap till quite late in the day.
Yeah, I don't think it was on anyone's roadmap. And I think that was the big challenge. My personal view is that it was a much bigger impact than the national living wage, partly because it was unexpected and partly because of the scale. That 1.5% increase was fairly manageable, but the fact that another 4,500 of income for everyone was brought into the calculation really was a big impact. And that really meant that there was less money for pay reviews, certainly for those at mid to senior levels, and for other parts of the reward package too. And I think this year we've been asked a lot more about low cost or innovative benefits than ever before, rather than just the traditional expensive ones. So with all of that happening, organisations have had to get smarter about how they attract and retain talent.
Yeah, completely. I think we've seen more employers emphasising the whole package or talking about and promoting total reward, thinking about things like their flexible reward offerings, looking at more tailored or personalised benefits. And I guess creative ways to talk about the value of total reward beyond just base pay.
And that's all good stuff. It's just not particularly easy stuff. And adding to the challenge, we've the tech and AI talent challenge continuing. We've talked about it in our tech forum, haven't we? Half the battle is just defining what the roles actually are, what skills you're paying for, and how you adjust when, the hot skills of today cool down tomorrow. And then the evolution of broader roles needing more and more skills in the tech and digital space.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the challenge is affordability versus those expectations. It's become a real balancing act. Employees are still expecting and asking for meaningful pay and benefits, but budgets are getting tighter and tighter and under more and more pressure.
Yeah, and active cycle increases are still really common, aren't they? Which just shows how reactive things can get. We've got a lot of clients sort of asking for guardrails around that, haven't we?
Yeah, they have. And I guess that really plays into another huge theme that we've got this year, and that's all around pay transparency.
Mm. So, especially with the EU Pay Transparency Directive, we've got UK firms with European operations having to introduce clearer pay structures, job evaluations, better gender pay gap reporting.
Yeah, although let's be honest, some of the regulations are putting businesses under pressure. But what really needs to be done is, in some cases, absolutely as clear as mud.
Yeah, it's very true. And even where there's no legal requirement, the expectation is there, isn't it? Employees want to understand what they're getting, why they're getting it, and how it can grow.
Yeah, I guess we're seeing that more and more. That sense of fairness has become fairly central to everything. It's not really just about that legal equal pay sense, but it's more about the broader sense of trust and it being a pay principle.
Mm. And that ties into the last theme that we were thinking about, really, which was purpose-driven reward. We've seen a lot more organisations aligning their reward systems and processes with their values and their culture, and not just performance metrics.
Yeah, I think that's really true. It's not just about how much people are paying these days. It's about what does that pay say about you as an employer or as an organisation.
Yeah. And flexible benefits have been a big topic again this year, haven't they? It's much easier to personalise perks and well-being options than it is to flex pay or bonuses.
Yeah, that's true. I guess one of the best parts that's come out of 2025 is that I think we're finally seeing reward strategies become less reactive and more strategic again. Employers are starting to think longer term again.
Yeah, although what long term looks like in this ever changing world, I'm not sure. And of course, added to that, every sector, every organisation, they're all experiencing those shifts differently, aren't they? Depending on their size, their budget, their legacy arrangements.
Yeah, so I guess we could go on, but in a nutshell, that's been 2025. It's been a year of costs and regulatory pressures, a year of adjustments and trying to meet expectations. And let's be honest, a fair bit of reward juggling.
Yeah, that's an absolutely core skill for a reward professional, isn't it? I don't know that appears on any job description, but it should. So that's 2025. In our next episode, we're going to be looking ahead to what 2026 might bring. So wage forecasts, upcoming legislation, and what reward leaders really need to be ready for.
Yeah, can't wait. Thanks for joining us, for getting our reward heads together. Please do reach out to Victoria or any of us on the team if this resonates with you and you'd like our help in formulating or delivering truly impactful reward strategies. You can reach us on rewardsolutions@rewardheads.co.uk. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Getting Our Reward Heads Together, brought to you by Reward Heads. We're a boutique reward consultancy working with organisations across the UK and beyond. Our mission is to help HR and reward leaders design fair, engaging and effective reward frameworks and solutions, from pay and benefits to recognition and governance. Every solution we create is bespoke, built around each client's unique goals and challenges. We also offer coaching, resourcing, and trusted forums to keep you connected to the latest reward trends. If we can support your reward journey, we'd love to hear from you.